Hi, this is Ian from Richmond Tweed Regional Library. I'm here today to demonstrate how you can create your own volcano on a tabletop in your own home. Now, before I go into the details of the experiment, let's just talk about some of the theory. If any of you came along to the workshop last year, you may have learnt about the fact that there are different types of volcanoes and that volcanoes normally appear in special parts of the planet. So first slide here is where we talk about a shield volcano, and that's a good place to start because that's similar to what we have in Mount Warning, although of course it's a very old volcano and you don't see the shield shape, but in the past it would have been a very low flat volcano and it's been eroded away, and that's similar to what you'll see also in Hawaii, which is what I'm showing in this slide. Now let me go back a slide where we talk about where you find volcanoes. And what you'll find is that volcanoes occur at plate boundaries. I talked about plate tectonics in the geology workshop, and the volcanoes occur along those boundaries. Now where Australia is and where Hawaii is, they're in the middle of a plate, and so you get a particular type of volcano that has very runny lava, and because it's runny, you don't get that sharp point. You get a very flat volcano, hence the name shield. It looks like a shield when you look at it from the side. Now there are other types of volcanoes besides the shield volcano. There are those, just go to another slide. We have what they call a lava dome, where you have very thick lava that doesn't flow very well, and you'll get a volcano that has a rounded top, or the other type of volcano is where you have a mixture of lava and ash and rocks, and they're the sort of volcanoes that create the classic shape of volcano where it's rather pointy. Now, to simulate these types of volcanoes, we have some very simple ingredients. The active ingredients are these two. It's sodium bicarbonate or baking soda and white vinegar, or you could use any sort of vinegar, but it will affect the color of your lava. But we recommend just using white vinegar and bicarb soda. And then you can add some food dyes. Now I'm going with fairly conservative colors here, just the red and the yellow to get sort of the typical color of lava. In the workshop, we ended up creating rainbow colored volcanoes. I think kids had a lot of fun with just experimenting with the different colors and mixing colors. And then the last ingredient is the washing up detergent. And it's the washing up detergent that determines how runny your lava is. If you have very little or no washing detergent, it's quite runny and it will flow fast. And you would then, if that were a real volcano, you'd end up with a shield volcano where it's fairly flat and not very pointy. If you add more of the detergent, the lava or the mixture that we're making will flow more slowly, and it would eventually create a volcano similar to the stratovolcano with a point, or these lava domes where you have very viscous lava. So what I'd recommend you do when you actually simulate this is add the baking soda first. In fact, I might take the top off for this, it'd be easier. I'd normally add, say, 1 or 2 teaspoons. I'll add 1, we can always add more later. What we found was that you can just keep on adding more of the baking soda, more of the vinegar. You could even change the color of the lava too, all the way through the experiment just by adding more of the different types of food dyes. Now the next thing I'd suggest we do is all the liquid ingredients, starting with the food dye. I might put in, now I should probably use a dropper for this, but I'll try and be careful. You really don't need very much. It's surprising just how strong some of these food dyes are. So red and a little bit of yellow, and that'll mix in with your baking soda. And let me see, I won't add too much, but for the sake of the video, maybe I should add a bit more just to make it happen slowly, because if I didn't add any, it would probably all froth out and flow away very quickly. Right, now, this is where the fun starts. I actually enjoy this every time. That seems to be working quite well. Don't see the yellow very much. Obviously I put too much red in, but that seems to be working very well. Notice how slowly it's flowing. That's because I did actually put a reasonable amount of the washing detergent in there. And you see how it's flowing down all the gullies. I mean, it's just like water trying to find the lowest path, like flowing in a stream. You've got them coming down these gullies. And I tell you, I don't think I'd want to be living somewhere in that bottom of that valley there. You'd be getting wiped out with all that lava. Okay. Now, in the first demonstration you saw before, we were looking at a very thick, or what we would call viscous lava, where I added a lot of the washing detergent. What we have now, after cleaning up the volcano, we're able to put this under a tap and clean it up. And so now we can start from fresh again. Nothing inside the volcano, so we're going to have to go ahead and add more bicarb. And I'll add that 1 generous teaspoon. I'll add the food dye for colour. Maybe this time I'll use a little less red and maybe a little bit more yellow, so we get a more of an orange lava. Maybe I'll be fairly, it doesn't want to come out. I have to squeeze that. That should be enough. So no washing detergent this time, so it'll be very runny, it'll flow fairly quickly. Let's see what happens. Now here's the vinegar. I'll be fairly generous with this time. Well, it's proving me wrong. It's certainly got the right colour. I think it's moving a little bit faster. So when you have a very runny lava, you end up with a flatter volcano. Same as with the very thick lava. It's finding those low gullies to flow down, fill in the gully. And even if it's runny, I'd probably still feel uncomfortable being at the bottom of that volcano. Maybe even more worried, because it should be coming down the hill faster even. Okay, so we plan to do more videos like this in other areas of science. Hope you've enjoyed this and come back and watch more of other subjects. Now, for those of you that want to go ahead and do this at home, let me just show you how I made this one here. I started with the top of a storage bin. The good thing about that is that it has a big lip, so that when it flows, the lava flows out, it contains it and it won't go all over the table or wherever else you have your experiment. And all I've started with is a food container, and then on top of that a plastic cup. Tape those together and tape them to the top of the storage container so that it doesn't move around. And then I've just used 4 sheets of aluminium foil and taped that down both to the top of the cup and to the top of the storage bin. Okay.